Hello, everyone. Welcome or welcome back to the Venusian Light Tarot. So today we are here to do a specific message for a specific group of people in the collective. So if this reading pops up randomly, if you feel pulled to it in any kind of way, to the title or to the thumbnail, then this could be for you. But of course, just take what resonates. It is not going to be for everyone. So if you feel confused or you're not understanding it, then it may not be for you, and that's okay. So as usual, I'm going to go over what I picked up on and channeled into prior to starting this reading, what I wrote down, and then we'll open up more, we'll pull some more cards, and we will go from there. There will be an extended for this reading. I've already kind of planned that, so we'll talk about that a bit later in the reading, but the links will be down below in the extended or in the description box. So this is a very intense message, and there's a lot to talk about with this. There's a lot to say, and I'll do my best to kind of describe this energy because, again, it feels almost just very intense for someone. So before we get into the details, this is definitely going to be for a group of souls that you seem to be moving through another layer of your spiritual awakening. So maybe for a couple of people, this could be something that you have just kind of woken up to, or this is like your first spiritual awakening, and maybe you've just gotten into, spirituality and tarot. But for most people, this is just representing some next level or layers of an awakening. So maybe it's like your second or third or fourth big awakening in this lifetime, because it feels like a very big thing. It's not just a small moment that you're having. So even though everyone could be feeling this in a bit of a different way, you are feeling and you're aware that there's been a massive shift in your energy, and you could be feeling that there's so much that's like moving through you. You could be picking up on this intensity even of this message, or you're drawn to this for a reason that you can't quite explain. So yeah, there's quite a bit happening here. So when I first tapped in to the message, Spirit was showing me a vision of you as the viewer, lying down in what looked to be like a glass rectangle or like a glass square of some kind. And they were referencing specifically, this was a sky blue color that you were resting in, like a square sky blue, transparent color almost. And I was hearing the word suspension. And after they showed that to me, I was then being shown these shapes that were transforming into different shapes, almost like a mold of some kind, that you could mold into different shapes. Like it starts as a circle, and then the circle becomes a different shape, and then it becomes a square, and then the square becomes a triangle. And there's all these shapes that were like molded into different shapes. And after they showed me those two images, I was hearing everything is moving quickly around you. And this will be a bit different for how everyone's feeling this. For some, you have been aware that you're in a void right now. So maybe for some people, this could mean that you literally are resting more, or you feel like you're in this weird like limbo in between place right now where maybe you do need to just completely detach from the world and to rest and to do nothing. That could be how some people are feeling this. And we'll get into why that's coming up. But even if you are just moving about your normal life and you don't feel a need to completely disconnect, this could just be something to where your higher self is stepping in, definitely in this message here, regardless of which group you're in, to deliver this reading to you. So even if you're not sitting still, there's still some kind of suspension that's happening for you in the kind of background, to where almost in a way you're being adjusted right now. So they were showing me a large sword that was coming in that kind of took up the whole page, what I was writing on. And so Archangel Michael could be a messenger here also for some of you. But they showed this large sword, and I was hearing things are being cut while you're in this in-between mode. And they use the word everything. Of course, not everything is being cut, but there's quite a bit that's being cut while you're in the in-between. So it's almost like you've been taken out of, again, take this how this will resonate. This is hard to kind of put into words. With the tower here and the upheaval and the void and the bound, this could be so many different things. It could be that you've been taken out of a situation. It could be that that would be something that you have detached from, or you feel like you had to pull back to think about this, or maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's your work life, or it's just something that's happening just, again, like energetically for you. But whatever is happening here, there's so much that is being adjusted is the word that was also coming up. So everything is moving. There's like an energy that's moving around you. And Spirit was showing also a vision of you looking at the reflection of yourself in the mirror. And that's where your higher self is stepping in. And I was hearing somebody ask themselves the question, whether that you're actually doing this or this is more like unconsciously. But I was hearing, what no longer fits with me? And specifically, Spirit was saying, what has been making you play small? And again, this is like such a large message that I can't even like pinpoint the little details of where this is fitting in. Wherever has been making you shrink down or play small, things you have been aware of, things you have not been aware of, things that have just been like something happening just on a level that you don't even know. This is what's being adjusted and kind of cut right now from your energy field. So you could find that this is a very weird process of almost like if you're sitting in like a waiting room, kind of like an energetic waiting room, and you know that you're going to be called in at any moment, but you still have to sit in this waiting room. That's what I'm getting here, but there's so much more to this, because I think that a lot of you are, I was hearing you are looking higher, and they showed me a vision of you looking up at the sky or like looking up at the stars. And again, it's like you become aware maybe of something within yourself. I was hearing specifically waking up to your brilliance. So it's like there's a perspective shift that has either happened to you recently, or you're going through this now, or you're going to find that once this energy clears, depending on where you are in the timeline, you're going to realize that you've had a complete perspective shift, which is why this feels like a very intense process of somebody's transformation, where you're almost coming out of this energy as a completely different person. And in a way, it does feel like you are going to be a completely different person. And so we'll definitely get more into it here, because there's like so much to this, but they kept showing like a time lapse and the same kind of energy of the shapes that were shaping into different forms. It's like there's a process of evolution here, like you're changing, you're metamorphosizing, and this is either something that is just very spontaneously happening, or this has been a gradual process, but it does feel like there's a reason that this is very intense right now. And so there's this process of being like pulled apart to be pulled back together, or being pulled apart for things to be put in their right place. And so that could be why with this upheaval here, I'm just being shown like a scribble, like if you could just scribble on a piece of paper and everything is happening at once. And that's kind of how the energy feels. So that can manifest differently for everyone. Maybe it seems like chaos to you. Maybe it just feels like Spirit has pulled you back so that everything can adjust around you, or you've had something happen recently to where your perspective has completely shifted. And this is what is almost creating that chaos, because something has altered your perspective, whatever that might have been for everyone. Or you're going to have that experience if you have not yet, and Spirit's kind of preparing you for that. But there's a definite process of looking deep within self, but it doesn't really feel like intense, like shadow work, really. It feels more like looking at self in a different light, like maybe from again, like a different perspective, a higher perspective. And they were showing me the analogy as well of someone kind of sitting back and watching the clothes in the dryer keep spinning. And it's the same kind of feeling, like something's being mixed up. Something in the background is being mixed up in a jumble of ways, like things may be shaken up in your life. Your perspective on life could be shaken up. And specifically too, I'm hearing that whoever's going to resonate with this, you may be finding that your vision is changing. Not like your vision, like your eyes, but your vision in terms of maybe where you want your life to go, maybe your vision on like little things in your life, what kind of works for you, what fits for you. This could be a certain like creative vision. This could be a business venture, like various things, even relationships. There's quite a bit that's going to be shifting for you. And there's like a massive sense of understanding and things falling into place very soon if they have not. So it's like, there's almost no words that could describe this kind of energy if you feel this, because it's just something that you're feeling. But they also want to say too that if you do feel like you need to pull back, I was hearing these pit stops are necessary. So this could even be like a bit of a pit stop in your journey. You may have had several of these, or maybe these happen to you often, but this one feels a bit more intense. So you may resonate with the fact that you've had to pull back from time to time or allow adjustments. It's like if you have to be taken out of your human body for a moment or something, and then like adjustments have to be done to you, or you have become aware that you have to pull back and adjust your vision for your life and such. That's kind of what this feels like. And so if you do feel like this is bringing about a lot of intense shifts, or even a lot of things are shattering in your life, that could manifest for some of you. Maybe it's difficult things. Maybe it's just you, again, the way that you view like a person in your life, or the way you view your life up until this point, the way you view your work life could be becoming very different for you. And that could be like challenging. It could be in negative ways. It could be in ways that it just doesn't work for you anymore. So they really want someone to trust this right now. And I'm looking out the window as well. I'm just seeing like the leaves in the wind, and there's something about a process of unfolding and like watching things change, like watching the leaves, something like that keeps coming through. Like just kind of allow the process to happen, because what they do want to say is on the other side of this here, I was hearing don't worry. They really don't want someone to worry, because they were showing me cherries for some reason, and they were referencing a cherry representing new beginnings, but also like the first time at something. So whatever that is, I don't know. Again, this could be so many things. It could be a specific thing that's going to be coming into your life, or you're starting a new vision for something that's going to be like the first time at trying this. But it also feels like it could just be energetically like you're moving into just, there's a first time at seeing yourself in a certain light, or seeing certain situations in a new light. So really trust that. I don't know if I already mentioned it, because there's been so much that's come up here, but the important part here is they want to say whatever's been making you play small. So spirit could be bringing through energies that are cutting away anything that has made your vision smaller. It's like trying to squeeze you down into a smaller version of yourself. That is what's either being brought up right now for you to look at, even within yourself. Like maybe it's your own self-worth, or maybe it's how capable that you think you are. All of those things right now are maybe being brought up so that they can be cut, because spirit doesn't want you taking that into your future vision, or taking that any further. There's been like an expiration of how long things could have gone on for. That I think this came up in a recent reading too, but it's like it doesn't fit. You're like in a like a dress that's too small, or like you can't fit into that anymore because you've outgrown it. And yeah. And lastly, I was hearing as well, realizing that you can do it. So that could be so many things. You're realizing there's just so much, realizing that you can do maybe whatever you want. It's like you're really taking on this process of, whoever's going to resonate with this, like you're becoming aware that you can do whatever you want to do with your life. But beyond that, you can become whoever you want to become. You can create what you want to create. So whether it's a specific thing that you are realizing that you can accomplish this, you are successful enough for this, you have you have what it takes to accomplish this. But I think for a lot of you as well, it's more of just how you move about in a general sense, like how your energy is moving about. There's something with your vibration that is really becoming, it's just really becoming very magnetic. And you're really unbounding yourself from the limitations of what you can create for your life. And so you may even find a lot of like creative blocks are dissolving and things like that. There's just energy is moving. But for some, sorry, I had to pause the video because a siren was going by and my dog was howling. So yeah, this could be kind of urgent for someone as well. Some of you could be getting a calling for something. And that's another thing too. They were showing me like little bubbles that were popping up in your awareness everywhere. And there's so much being stirred up that is actually starting to manifest in your reality though. So you may have parts of yourself that like want your attention, that need your attention, maybe something that you have forgotten that you have a passion for or dream for, or you may start to just gravitate towards a lot of new things. It's because these are parts of yourself that have always been there, but now they want to move. It's like parts of yourself that want more from life, or like want to gravitate more towards expression or being creative, or it really feels like it could be an endless kinds of things. It could even be a partnership that you've wanted to manifest. It could be so many things, but you may find that a lot's going to be popping up in your awareness here that wasn't there before. So yeah, we'll go more into it here, but some specifics of how this may resonate with you. This does not have to resonate. This is only confirmation for a few people. You could be feeling kind of confused. So if you do feel confused about the process that's happening for you right now, like why am I feeling a little weird or off, or why is this, happening to me? This could be, or even if you do feel like you have to deeply rest or like pull back quite a bit, you may be wondering why that's happening suddenly. This could be confirming that process for you and why that's happening. Some other specifics here. Yeah, they show me like a moving target. So that's kind of how you feel too. Like something is moving and you're trying to hit the target, but you keep missing it because you don't know where you're going. So you may feel a bit like an unknown or like a fish out of water, something like that. You may be having a lot of emotions come up, and I'm either hearing that you've been feeling more into your emotions, and that's also what is confirming this, is that you've been giving yourself permission to feel your emotions, or this is advice coming in for Spirit to say to feel whatever you need to feel. Someone here could be doing like a detox or fasting, or you may feel like you need to do that for your body, or you may be even noticing some changes in your body, like eating less or not feeling as wanting to weigh yourself down right now. And that could be one of the reasons why. And they want to say that the most important sign here that this is for you is, I was hearing you have no choice. And I don't know exactly what they mean by that, but it's almost like a process that is inevitable. So whether this means that you have, with the Tower, been almost forced in a way out of certain things, or you have no choice but to surrender to this process. Either, again, because something practically related, like you can't, you have to face it, or it's just something that you become aware in some way that you have no choice but to embrace something higher now, or to look higher. You could be meditating more, and the word peace was being highlighted. So you could be really, maybe you've been saying the word peace to yourself, or you want peace, or that's just been like a theme of your life, or you're striving for peace right now. Something about a blank canvas or writing a book. That could just be very specific for someone. Something about a denim jacket, also very specific. Also the moon cycles and the tides I was being shown. So this could also be the ebb and flow of kind of this journey. And as I said before too, you could be rethinking your destination, like where are you going in life, or What is the long-term goal of this specific thing? And that could be shifting a bit. I was hearing the names Cynthia, Hannah, Megan, and Nancy. And yeah, Archangel Michael. And then lastly, I was hearing this song, like really old song. I think it was from like the early 2000s. I haven't heard it in like a decade, but I was hearing the song Just Be, and I had to look up the lyrics or who sang it. I think it's like a EDM kind of song, Tiesto, DJ Tiesto. It's called Just Be. And I didn't know why Spirit was bringing through that song to me because I haven't heard it. But I looked up the lyrics and I will leave them down below. They do feel like they connect with this, but just to read a few of them. I was lost and I'm still lost, but I feel so much better. You can travel the world, but you can't run away from the person that you are in your heart. If you're searching for truth, you must look in the mirror and make sense of what you can't see. Just be, just be. And it's interesting because I was seeing that about someone looking in the mirror as well. So this has a lot to do with your perspective of yourself. But yeah, let's go ahead and open up a bit more here. There's been already so much that's come up here, but let's just see if there's anything else that Spirit wants to say for this specific group of people who are going to resonate with this. What else do you want to say, Spirit? Yeah, they really do want to say for someone to maybe allow yourself to slow down. If you have been doing too much or forcing too much or working too much, even if it's just for a brief period of time, they do want someone to rest and to slow down. There's something about the symbol of an orchid here. You may want to look up the meaning of an orchid, or that could hold significance for someone. So they want someone to know that if this message does reach you, they're showing me that you have climbed over a fence and you're successfully kind of on the other side. And they want to say there's just this big like congratulations of this message here, because whoever this is for, it's again like you're already in this flow of this energy. You've done some kind of perspective shift, mostly upon yourself, or you've been able to like switch something in the way that you've seen yourself or your life or a situation, and it's really altered your path in a good way. And so they want to say that you have, I think this did come up in the previous reading too, but something of like you have arrived in this new kind of like reality feeling, but specifically you may have been able to overcome some kind of lower emotion. So it could be fear I'm getting. And however you've done that, I don't know, or you're in the process of that right now. And so for a lot of you, this message here is reaching you to say that this is the process of you returning kind of back to wholeness within yourself in a lot of ways. And they want someone to know, again, there's something about slowing down and trusting that the doors are already opening for you. And this card, actually, abundance, is here at the bottom. So the other, like on the other side of this here is a lot of abundance coming in. I forgot to mention that, but they did also show me that you were almost like catching up to some abundance that you haven't reached yet. So whether you just were not on that road yet, or even just making a small change in your perspective is going to shift your level of abundance in your life and what you're attracting in so much. So yeah, they want to say that I'm just seeing all these doors in different colors. So there's a lot to do with color here. Maybe someone is bringing more color into your life, or you're painting, or you're creating something, but there's like doors that I'm seeing in my mind's eye, and like one's blue, one's pink, one's red, one's orange, one's yellow, one's green, and they're all open. So you can choose whatever door you want to open, or you can walk through all of them. It's like a very multi-dimensional feeling here of, I don't know, again, it's hard to like put into words. It's like you've opened something, like you've opened some kind of energy field that everything is popped up now in front of you. Like you have your selection in front of you, or you have multiple things to choose from now, or you're opening this in your consciousness. Something is open here. I'm hearing the name Matthew for somebody. I'm also seeing a fortune cookie. And they also want to say too, with this Wheel of Fortune, the same kind of feeling is coming up with the Wheel of Fortune, the journey, and the freedom. It's like you're opening a fortune cookie here, but you don't know what's inside of that. You don't know what you're getting, but you're trusting it anyway. And I think for some of you, this is either going to be because it's a surprise element of what's coming in, or because you're still in the process of kind of painting that for yourself and opening yourself up to new timelines of more fortunate like events in your life, things like that. And for some, yes, though, with this card, there's some nudity, so I can't pick this one up, but it says financial gain, usually coming from something that you did in the past. But again, I'm getting so many different ways that could happen. For some, yes, it's like one particular thing that is now arriving in your life that's going to bring you maybe a financial level of abundance that you've adjusted your lens in a way somehow to receive that. But it also feels like it could be something a bit deeper than that with the karma here beneath that. Like it's something that your soul is arriving to the ability to receive, if that makes sense, or like you've been able to collapse kind of the lower emotions that held back the flow of abundance from coming into your life. And so this even could be something that you're allowing yourself to go bigger, as I said, to look higher. And so just the process of cutting away what's been making you play small is what's going to elevate your life in this way of abundance, or finding new outlets towards abundance, finding new creative doors to abundance, or just, again, like in the way that you're thinking maybe about yourself or your life. There's just so much swirling and moving here that's going to be sprouting a lot of new potentials and possibilities for yourself. But since they keep referencing like the mirror, it does feel like it's something that you've done for yourself, like you've accomplished this for yourself. And I'm hearing now is the time. And they want to like underline the word now. Now is the time. So let me pull just a few more cards here. I did feel guided for the extended reading to use the cards of the faces. So if you've seen them before, you'll see them in the thumbnail of the extended reading. But whenever there's like an important shift, Spirit wants me to use those cards with the faces on them. And specifically, I was hearing for some, you have been assigned kind of a new spirit guide, or there's been a new spirit guide that's entered your life or is about to, and that could be who is coming in the extended. For the pick a card, there's going to be 3 groups, or it's just a guide that wants to talk with you about this process, and because it feels like there's a lot to like say here. So if you do feel guided, there will be a link down below, either over on Patreon or Gumroad, and you can see the thumbnail before you purchase it. If you do feel called to one of the faces, then they could hold some more messages for you, and we'll just flow with whatever comes in here. So we have inner vision, but is there anything else you want to say, Spirit? I just saw someone being I'm seeing the High Priestess in my mind, and also the Hierophant together. So you could either be a high priest or a high priestess, and it's like you're being put on like this throne of some sort. We have wildness. We have joy. I'm hearing ready to share your secrets. I don't know what those secrets are, but you're ready to share something. And these secrets could be not so much secrets. I mean, yes, for some, I'm trying to keep up with all the angles of this message here. For some, this could be with the High Priestess and the High Priest, that you are ready to share some spiritual knowledge with the world, that maybe you have with the Wolf here, turn knowledge into wisdom. Either you've been holding back on that, or it's just going to start popping up in your awareness that you have something to share. Maybe a different facet of yourself or a different gift that you have not shared yet. And you're going to find that it's going to start like brewing within you. And if that does happen, Spirit's saying that it's actually a part of your soul that wants to express itself, or it could even be a manifestation of like a past life gift that has not come online yet for you, but is about to right now. So definitely listen to what you're called to share with the world. This feels like for a group of you who do have a lot of important energy to share with the world, and that's kind of what you're coming into more realization of. And Spirit's saying that any of these kind of things that are being cut right now from your life are happening so that you can really, I'm seeing this like flower sprout from the soil and like rise up really quickly. Like you're supposed to be in the spotlight, or you're supposed to be seen in your full brilliance. And Spirit is ready to cut away. And I think your higher self is sending you those messages that it's time to cut away from what has shrunken you down. Yeah, the metamorphosis here. Overcoming obstacles. So that's what came up earlier too. For whoever this is for, it's like Spirit wants to say a big congratulations, because something with this, it's like you've cut some specific obstacle away. I'm hearing the carriage is rolling now. Yes, the leadership. The carriage is now rolling. Something like the wheels are rolling. I don't know what that means, but it's like things were stagnant for a while, or one specific vision of your life was stagnant for a bit of time. But you've got the wheels rolling again. And we do have this third eye chakra. So for some, it could also be something about your vision keeps coming in though. Like maybe I don't know, something like maybe very specific for someone, that you've been stuck on where to start with a project, or you've been stuck on where to start with a new career path for yourself or something. And Spirit's saying that the wheels are starting to churn, like the ball is rolling. Maybe you're starting to receive the right guidance on where should I start with that, or what direction should I take this. It's ready to be, something is like you're ready to come to life, or you're ready to sprout some sort of vision for your life. But we also have the word joy twice here too. Emotion. So yeah, I was getting that too. You could be feeling kind of emotional. But I also feel like some of those rolling energies could be stagnant emotions that are ready to come to the surface, ready to be released. And for some, you have allowed yourself, you've given yourself permission to feel that. And this is what's rolling you in the right direction, is because you've honored your emotions, or you are doing that right now. We have another journey here, same word too. And we have dimensions, portals, astral travel, unseen, metaphysical. For someone very specific, I am getting with this vision that keeps coming through. For some, maybe you are like an artist, or you're creating something very unique, or like you're trusting in your intuition, but you're gathering like insights from beyond, and you need to trust that. So I don't know how that fits in for everyone, but it's like there's a very specific maybe vision forming for you, or will be. And Spirit wants to say that you are accessing, you've become closer, almost like if you could visualize it as like a measurement, like you've become closer to your higher self, or you become closer to be able to access divine knowledge and wisdom that only you, probably yourself, were blocking the path to that in the past, because it was just a process of you needing to arrive to this time now. So it's not that you were in the wrong place, but again, something is shifted in, it's like if you could visualize someone wearing like sunglasses and they were in the kind of like a grayscale tone, and then you shifted some perspective and it turned into like rainbow glasses. You've allowed yourself to maybe think bigger. You've allowed yourself to think more creatively. But beyond that, that's why I think I feel called to use those faces again, because it feels like your spirit team has stepped in here, or you've tapped into a different like spiritual frequency, if that makes sense, or like a different, I don't know what to call it. Like you've been able to access something that you weren't ready to receive the intensity of before, because you weren't at that place of being ready. So for those of you who are like artists or visionaries of some kind, or if you work with spirit in any sort of way, which probably most of you in this reading, if you resonate, do, if you do find that your work is shifting into a different direction, or you're being called to do different things, this is the reason why. You've like hopped on board a new space, a new shuttle, and you're going somewhere else in like a different dimension. That's just how this feels. So hopefully that makes sense. Yes, we have the universe. So there's so much support here. If anything, I mean, this reading feels so beautiful and so positive for whoever this is going to resonate with. It's like, this is the time to open yourself up to just endless energy and to trust more boldly than ever, I'm hearing. Trusting in yourself and trusting in your vision, trusting in your creations, trusting in your spirit team, your beliefs. Really deeply honor and trust that right now. Something is cracked open, and this void that you could be going through, if you are feeling it in that manifestation of needing to sit still, as the first vision I was seeing of that person in like a sky blue rectangle and just having to sit there, we can expect to be able to process this intensity of energy in overnight, or in a way that we're still operating on high function every day. You know, it's almost like we have to allow ourselves to integrate and receive these insights. So give yourself a bit of a break if that's the case for you, because when you go through this, it is going to probably shift quite a bit in your life, and you're going to start to see things very differently. And that could feel a little bit overwhelming or scary, exciting at the same time. Yes, we have the Hermit here. I'm hearing things are getting brighter. The Two of Wands, the Six of Wands reversed. Yeah, so wherever you've placed like a limit on yourself here, is there any final messages here, Spirit, before we go on to the extended? And then I will close this reading up by channeling a bit of specific details, if this could be for you. Queen of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups. I'm hearing you are only, your limits are only what you perceive them to be. So talking again about what you're able to perceive with this third eye, whether this is talking about in a specific creative sense, like this is specific for someone, of like you're creating something, you're writing a book, you're wanting to paint something, you're wanting to create something, or it's the larger vision of your life. there's been like little caps put on how far you could take that in the past, or how much flexibility you had in the way of receiving these insights. And that's what they want you to think much bigger for yourself. Act as if, dream the world. Yes, the infinite alignment. So yeah, very spiritual message for someone here. You would definitely feel this if this resonates. Yes, beyond the mind. And if this does feel like it resonates with you, but you haven't really stepped into this yet, I would definitely say like meditation, anything that could bring more peace into your life, and definitely meditations coming through, or any form of art. You may start to find that once you dabble into that or begin that process or meditate more, a lot of things that have been almost running in the background, like programs that have run in the background, so to speak, like in your mind, or things you've held on to or haven't seen clearly, may start to erupt, is the word coming in, but they may start to erupt or to come to the surface because you're allowing more flow and more openness of your consciousness here. So that could be something that will really help you to find your way if you do still feel like this is resonating. And that could be the surrender part of it, is you can't really control this process. It's like a spontaneous activation that's happening for someone that you can't, even if you would want to control it, even if you feel like there's things falling apart in your life, or there's a process of like feeling a little weird or ungrounded, you can't really control it right now, because it's the next level and layer of your spiritual path that this group of people, this is kind of in this lifetime, you're on this, spiritual path. And so this is supposed to happen here. You could resonate with starseed energy as well. Definitely lots of evolved souls in this reading. So I'm just they want me to read just the very beginning of this card right here, and then I'm going to channel any other specifics, and then we'll go over to the extended and see what the specific spirit guide has to say for you. I feel like it will be quite intense reading over there, so we'll see what comes in. So this says, thinking with the heart, being present, heart and mind connection, meditation, the bliss of being, quieting the monkey mind, fathoming the unfathomable, finding happiness within, and going beyond intellectual limitation. Take a step outside your mind-based concerns or limitations. Looking at things in an overly logical way will hinder you and obstruct access to your superpowers. You may be transfixed by a past experience. The past may be running you and making your mind spin, so you cannot see what is really in front of you. Consider what your heart and gut are telling you. Step back and clear your mind. Meditate in your own way. Contemplate what the situation at hand would feel like if you released all fears and worries. Are these concerns even yours? So that really confirms a lot of this. Some of you here, if this is coming in more so as like a predictive message and you have not arrived yet in this energy, this could be where you feel a bit more of the uncomfortable parts of this, where you are being invited to release the past. And the past can be so many things, of like people from the past, but also what you've attached yourself to, the perspective of the past, as it says here in this card. You're looking at things in an overly logical way, maybe for some of you, if you have not surrendered yet to this. And so that's what I think this process is trying to get you to receive and to step into, is releasing the logical mind right now, at least for a moment, because maybe there's something very specific that Spirit really was trying to help you to release that, so that you can experience more love, more happiness, more joy. It's like inner peace is needed. Someone needs to find their inner peace, and we have to kind of crack open like a hard shell to find that. And that hard shell could have been formed by a lot of beliefs that we've held on to from the past for quite a while. And that's maybe why, for whatever reason, maybe just a point on your journey, or your guides have stepped in, divine intervention, that this cannot go on any longer. You're supposed to go higher. You can't stay stuck in that same cycle or ruminating on the past or whatever that is. And so we have to kind of like break those walls and allow for something to be shaken up. And so however that's going to manifest, it has to happen. And that's what they said too, that you have no choice anymore. So yeah, I really hope that this could find who it was meant for. We'll definitely go over now to the extended and see what else comes up for those 3 groups of you. But if you did enjoy this, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and I will talk to you all over on the extended or in the next reading. Take care and lots of love.